Other teams might as well buy their tickets to Cancun now because the Celtics are on the path to ban on 19. With us on this journey are JT, Sam Packard, Brian Robb, and Sean. So I'm gonna need you all to buckle in because this pod's gonna be a wild ride.
Still Poddable, still Poddable. The Boston Celtics still Poddable, still Poddable.
I've never seen anyone lose their season 2 years in a row.
A psychosexual celebration of the Boston Celtics.
Welcome back to Still Poddable, folks. This is a very somber and shitty Poddable postgame show. Not only do the Celtics lose, that's really the least of it all. Jason Tatum goes down with a non-contact injury, has to be helped off the floor. Certainly early Twitter doctors are calling it like a ruptured Achilles. It's just a super shitty end to what was actually a pretty fun back and forth game, a real battle where Tatum had 42 points. Brunson was going for it. Mikal Bridges was going for it, but it's just not the way you want a game to end. And it's just no good news comes from this. It's just, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I was just scouring Twitter. Looks like Joe Mazzulla says he doesn't have an update. Obviously, Celtics are doing a MRI. This fucking sucks.
It's the type of thing, if it is a ruptured Achilles, he's out all of next season. It basically totally changes this kind of championship window. It was, we can try and, it's awful. He's playing his ass off. He's had 42 points at that point. He's really the only reason the Celtics were still in the game. And for him to kind of go out like that is just real kick in the dick, I would say. I'm on the MSG concourse right now. I got to say, probably the least fun basketball, 10 minutes I've had in a long time. Just trying to focus on the basketball. The Celtics just didn't get a stop for the second half. Absolutely dominated by Jalen Brunson, who was just phenomenal. I think he had 18 points in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, the Celtics kind of stay in double big because Jaylen Brown's in foul trouble. And Mikal Bridges just lights him up from the mid-range, and then they just couldn't get a stop. So to go from this just getting destroyed by the Knicks, the Garden's going fucking insane, to then into the Jason Tatum injury, it was just not a fun half hour of basketball.
I've got to say, so I'm in a hotel in Washington D.C. right now for work, and I'm watching the game on the TV, and I've had the StreamYard open for a while. And Packard, you had your camera on the entire time, and so I'm looking at a text message on my screen, then I see your face, and I was like, oh, something very bad is about to come across my television screen. And I look up, and at first on the TV broadcast, they're following the ball, so I didn't even see the Tatum injury. I just see the turnover, the dunk, and I was like, oh, okay, that does suck. And then I just hear them say, oh, and Tatum's down, and he's not getting up, and I was like, oh fuck, this is bad. I don't remember anything else about this basketball game. I'm trying to rack my brain. I'm looking through my texts, but that's all I can think about.
Yeah, and he was in tremendous pain. He's always the type of guy who bounces right back up, and he's writhing around on the floor, had to be carried away. It was just a very, very ugly situation. And it's at this point, it feels cavalier to be talking about it, an hour after it happened, but who knows what this means for the offseason? Who knows what it means for next season? Who knows? It just kind of puts the basketball future of the Boston Celtics in tremendous turmoil. And it's just so shitty for Tatum, who, again, I thought was was having one of his like kind of classic playoff games, and it feels like so shitty to focus on the basketball of it all. But I don't know what else to talk about given just how fucking awful the injury is. But he had 42 points, 7 of 16. He was making some ridiculous shots. He was basically single-handedly keeping them in this game, and they just had their defense really failed them in the second half. They just couldn't get a stop. This is why you can't choke away game one. This is why you can't choke away game two. I don't know if it ultimately matters in the end if Jason Tatum's going to get hurt, but it's still like they're still down 3-1 in this series when they really should be up 3-1 at this point because this Knicks is solid team. The Garden was rocking tonight. Their offense really kind of figured it out. Derek White couldn't slow down Jalen Brunson. They kept on attacking KP. Like we were double big for the entire fourth quarter, and they just kept on attacking our bigs in the drop. And it's just after what I thought was a great first half from the Celtics, they just really shat the bed in the second half.
Yeah, and I think in watching the game, I was kind of like when the Celtics didn't go up 20 in this one, and I was like, that feels like a good sign. Like I felt like for a while there, as the game was, it was like you had this ebb and flow of the Knicks, closing the lead a bit, and then the Celtics bringing it back up, and then like you said, it was just the defense disappeared. And for a while, it was like you said, the offense was all Tatum, and it feels weird to even talk about his game right now, but it was like at times I was feeling like the rest of the offense was kind of doing to harken back to a Marcus Smart quote. It was kind of like everyone was just standing around waiting to see what Tatum was going to do and if they were supposed to be getting a pass, and all the movement and off ball stuff that was going on in the first half of the game just like disappeared after halftime.
I thought the Celtics did a pretty good job of like trying to target Cat and trying to target Brunson, and they're actually like working pretty hard to get those matchups. But again, the Knicks did a pretty solid job of they were scramming Cat out of the action at first. I thought they were playing pretty physically, but they actually took Cat out of the game like down the stretch, which I thought was a good adjustment by them. But really, it wasn't the offense. It was just like a complete inability to get stops. Jason Tatum had like an and one to tie the game at 102, and then it was just like Mikal Bridges, just in the mid range, just abusing the bigs. And I thought Jaylen Brown had a pretty awful game. Obviously, the turnover, I've seen it happen. You can't blame Jaylen Brown for Jason Tatum's injury. Like, yes, he turned the ball over, but that's poppycock talk. It's stupid. But Jaylen Brown wasn't good. He got in foul trouble. He doesn't start the fourth quarter at all. And then you kind of are forced to play double bigs. And right at 6-minute mark, they're trying to get him back in the game, but KP gets fouled. He's trying to come in for KP. They can't enter him into the game. And then you're just consistently going double bigs there. And I just thought the Knicks with Brunson did an amazing job of getting into the paint, getting those shots off him, and Mikal Bridges just had a phenomenal second half. Bridges had 14 points. Brunson had 26 points in the second half. It was just the defense really failed them. They gave up 70 points in the second half when this is in the first 3 games of the series. Knicks were struggling to get to 90. So for the Celtics to kind of fail that much on the defensive end really is like what led to their downfall here. And shit, it's just like I was just in the press conference area for Joe. It's just like somber as hell. It's just like you expect to. These are all like objective journalists and stuff, but you could just like they're got all people who covers the team, and just you could just sense the shittiness of it all. Where it's like you can't even like talk about the thrilling game. It was like an entertaining game. It just comes back to Tatum.
Yeah, I'm just still looking through on like press conference coverage. Obviously not going to have any news, but just a quote that I found interesting. It's from Jared Weiss. Al Horford says, "The loss is the loss, but more importantly, it's Jason I'm worried about." And like, I feel like that's kind of that's the tone of this pod. I sent that text at least 4 times. Yeah, I mean, I think there was I had one brief moment of insane, hopeful thinking where I was like, there was a Tatum ankle injury against Sacramento where it looked pretty bad. Um, and he was like writhing and spitting on the floor and he got carried out and then he was like, nope, it's fine. It just really sucked. So I had a brief moment of hoping for that, but this is the playoffs, and as you said, Tatum's a get right back up guy. So
The thing is, the issue is it was a non-contact injury. Like if
that
he
too.
rolls his ankle, you can see it. Actually, the timeout before he was kind of like messing with his ankle, so maybe it was something there. But have a non-contact injury for him not to be able to put any weight on it, to him be like the clip of him in a wheelchair coming in through the tunnel here at MSG, it's just not adding up to anything good. And I don't know. Like I'm not going to put it past the Celtics to like fold in Game 5. I wouldn't be surprised to see them like extend the series. Like they can still do things in this series, but it's just like Jason Tatum is the engine of this team. He's been the best player. We talk about just how good he is, how much he's elevated his game. And so, yeah, this has been, I don't know how many different ways we can talk about how fucking shitty this is, but that's what's happened here. It's just kind of dumbfounded. I guess it mutes the outrage from the Celtics losing this game and being down to 3-1 because they should never have been in this position to begin with. And so, yeah, it's just wasn't a good game. Like, nothing good happened in the last hour here at Madison Square Garden from the Celtics perspective.
Yeah, yeah. Packard, looks like we've got Gamblin Grant, legend, ready to join. Oh, here we go. He's in here twice.
What's up,
Hey,
guys?
Grant.
Yeah,
What's up, dog?
not gonna lie, this fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you nailed it there. It's shitty, dude.
Yeah, sorry to cuss, but I mean, for real, like, I don't know, my emotions like went from woo, and it's just now I don't know how to recover from this. I don't know how to recover. So
I gotta say, like it was a very like it was an extremely fun basketball environment.
oh yeah.
Like I've never been it, but the Garden was going fucking insane, and like the dueling of Jason Tatum and Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, and Tatum like really going shot for shot against them. It was like, this is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Even the Knicks pulling ahead, I was like, I had enough perspective to be like, this is something I've never really experienced before. Like having my team get their asses kicked in a road arena. Like it was like there was something to be like, you're at least feeling pain in this moment, so at least you know you're alive. And then the Tatum injury happened. It's like, well, fuck that Buddhism nonsense. This is just absolutely shitty.
Yeah, it was a good basketball game. I mean, there's nothing you can really be upset about from like a standpoint of like watching like good basketball, because at least for the first time, like all series, it felt like, you know, like this is gonna be a good game. And then just that Tatum injury happened. It's just like, well, all hope is lost. Because, you know, like KP's still dealing with that injury, that illness or whatever. Jaylen Brown just didn't really have it going in the second half. Al Horford he had a great first half, but at the second half, like, it just felt like he kind of disappeared a little bit. Derek White, the same. He had an incredible start to the first half. Like, the first quarter, he had 4 threes. Payne Pritchard, even like whenever you were like, okay, maybe, and then it was just like downhill from there. I don't know. It was just like what could go wrong went wrong for the third time out of 4 games. So it sucks because the Celtics are the better team, and they are the better team. They should be winning the series.
Yeah, and I was seeing pathways to finals. Like, we're gonna beat the Pacers. I is actually thinking that. And this is why you don't. What did Doc Rivers say? Doc Rivers say you don't play with your meat. You don't play with your meat. You earn with meat. And unfortunately, did the former tonight. And so, shitty loss. Celtics are down 3-1 in this series. Game 5 on Wednesday night. I'm sure we're all waiting just for that Shams update about what actually happened with Jason Tatum. I don't know, boys. I'm ready to wrap this up because I don't have much more to say on the matter. Let's hear your final thoughts, Grant.
All I keep watching is just the Tatum in the hallway in the wheelchair, just like eyes over his head, and it's just like,
don't do that, folks. Take care of yourself in these moments. This is like the bottom of sports fandom. When your absolute favorite player gets hurt, you don't have to torture yourself with that.
Your favorite, your best, your just like nicest player, like it's just a shitty situation to be in.
All right, I'm gonna leave it on. I'm gonna end on this. This will be my last point. Shout out Andrew, says we're on YouTube, says we're still 5-point favorites in Game 5. Listen. Screw the rest of the playoffs. Here's what I'm going to say is I think the Celtics win Game 5 at home. I think we've seen this team rally when someone gets hurt. We've seen it happen in the playoffs. We've seen this team rally when they're down Jason Tatum in particular. Like, I know that this hasn't been the best Jaylen Brown series, but like we've seen Jaylen really step up in games without Jason Tatum. Again, I'm not gonna try and pretend that I'm feeling great about the prospects for this entire playoff run anymore.
Just gotta win Game 5. Just gotta win Game 5.
Except for Game 7, 2023, Jaylen Brown had an absolute stinker of a game when we needed him most.
Grant,
I'm kicking you off.
Get with the program here.
Grant's out of here.
It doesn't matter about what happened in 2023 Game 7. It doesn't matter what happens in this series. Just give me Game 5. Just give me Game 5. Again, the old wrap it up sign from the fine folks here at Madison Square Garden. So going to end it there. We'll hear it from Jay and B-Rob tomorrow, get their reactions. Maybe we'll have more news. But appreciate everyone tuning in. Definitely have more still Poddable to come for the rest of the week, and we'll see what happens in Game 5. Appreciate you guys watching live out there. And this has been another Still Poddable.
Still Poddable, still Poddable. The Boston Celtics still Poddable.